Today is a big day because it is my last day in California. Today is my final day of the Northern California section. It will be 3 sections complete. It will be my first state complete. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Good morning. It's about 6:45 this morning. I'm running a little bit late because I got caught in a massive rainstorm last night that completely drenched everything in my kit. I mean, you know, I was dry. I was inside of my tent, but my tent itself is completely soaking wet. It probably weighs 5 pounds right now. There's so much water on it. My sleeping bag is wet. All my clothes are wet. My white shirt that you usually see me in is like, it's so wet. It's like I jumped in the river. My shorts right now that I'm wearing are so wet that like I jumped in the river. I am freezing cold this morning. Today is a big day. Today is a big day, not because we're going 50 miles, not because we're ascending 18,000 vertical feet. Today is a big day because it is my last day in California. Today is my final day of the Northern California section. It will be 3 sections complete. It will be my first state complete. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Yeah, but I thinking about it'll be sometime this afternoon. I need to look exactly, but it's like 16 miles in, and we're gonna be crossing into Oregon, and I'm so excited for Oregon. I have huge plans for Oregon. I'm taking a week off in Oregon. Going around. I'm gonna visit a bunch of places with a friend, and we're gonna take a week and then go to Mount Hood and go to the coast and check out Portland and do some other stuff. I am freezing. Like, I'm up here at 6,000 feet, over 6,000 feet on the top of this mountain. And yeah, I'm wet, I'm cold. This was not a fun morning. And I'm sure I'll dry off later. I'm sure that once the sun comes up, I will dry off and warm up. All the vegetation is soaked, and it's getting, you know, all over me as I'm walking through it here. But as far as today goes, right now we are 42.4 miles from Callahan's Lodge, which is where I'm going to get a ride into Ashland, Oregon. It means if I put something like 25 miles on the board today, it means I would be, you know, 17, 18 miles from Callahan's Lodge, and that would be a nice trek tomorrow where I could get into town at a decent hour. Right now I need to put my phone down. My hands are literally so cold. I feel like they're gonna fall off. I'm really just hiking as fast as I can this morning to get into the sun. I'm freezing. It's freezing this morning. Oh, the sun feels so good. It's 10 o'clock and I'm 9.5 miles in. I missed my 10 by 10, but I don't care. This is the last peak. I'm standing at 7,000 feet right now. I just finished the last big climb in all of Northern California. And it's just an amazing place to be on an amazing morning. And I'm trying not to be overly sentimental about it. But next stop is Oregon. It's just after 10 and I'm 10 miles in. This is my last day in California. This is my last day in Northern California. I'm about 7 miles from the Oregon border right now. And as I am leaving Northern California, I can think of no better vista that just reminds me of how magical this place is than Mount Shasta. I just came around a corner and it's like we've been walking 180 miles since I left the town of Mount Shasta. And there it is, like, it's still there. I can see this is a different aspect too. I haven't seen this side of Mount Shasta, but you can see all the snow, all the different faces, all the glaciers up there. And yeah, I think, you know, when I think about my time in Northern California, you know, Shasta really stands out. And what an amazing way, you know, to leave Northern California and just be reminded of like the magic, you know, of this place. 1,693 miles in, I am done. Actually, I'm standing on the border. I haven't had the courage to walk across the line that connects these two signs. But I am standing here at the border, completing the Northern California section. You know, when I completed the desert, it was just like, you know, it's where I fell in love with the PCT, and it was where I kind of learned to believe in myself, right? It was like I learned that I could do this. I learned that I liked this. The Sierra was just like being thrown in the deep end of the pool. The Sierra was such a raw, emotional, really challenging experience, and really learning how to deal with, you know, constantly being wet and cold, and having crazy sort of adventures every day. Northern California for me, it was the first section I think that changed me. You know, Northern California was the first section that changed how I think I perceive myself, you know, how I look at the world, and sort of taught me things about, you know, what's important to me and what's not. The trail itself changes. You know, as you're coming up, you start down, you know, in the Sierra, and you have some of that rocky granite trail, which as you enter the Cascades, you know, everything becomes more vast, more empty, more remote. And as that happens, you enter the Cascades, and you enter this kind of new volcanic landscape with huge mountains like Lassen and Shasta, you know, towering over everything, really dominating the environment. And, you know, the towns change, the people change too. You know, people are really perceiving life, you know, through a different lens, living different types of lifestyles, really like mystical type of places, you know, type of mindsets. And, you know, even up here, the last in Sayed Valley, you know, it's ranchers, it's homesteaders, you know, it's people who want to secede from California and join the state of Jefferson, you know, who, you know, are just doing it different, thinking different, you know. And I think that that's the thing with me, is that, you know, Northern California will always be a place where, like, I remember a lot of the encounters I had with people, you know, you know, and it just felt really magical to me in that way. You know, I'll never forget, like, the native guy that gave me, you know, the plant that was going to raise my spirits. And it came just at the right time when my spirits were down. And it was like this guy was there for a reason. And this plant worked. And it increased my spirits. Just some of my memories, things on top of my head, like Desolation Wilderness, you know, Aloha Lake, Dick's Pass. Like, that was just an unforgettable night. And the Tahoe Rim Trail, those mystical views. I slept under the granite chairlift, you know, on Palisades Tahoe, like that, running down that ridge the next morning, just, you know, summoning Tinker Knob. I'll remember, you know, the heat wave we had, the heat wave that we had heading into Chester, coming through that burn zone. I'll never forget, you know, walking out of the wilderness and showing up into like a Burning Man style festival, you know, in Belden Town. And the whole section, you know, starting from Lassen, you know, all the way up to the border, like, the subway cave was insane. I loved the town of Mount Shasta, all the sparkling lakes that were up there, standing on top of Cement Bluff. So many steep climbs here in Northern California. One other thing I think that kind of defined my Northern California experience was really like overcoming adversity. Almost every trip that I went out, you know, when I left a town, something was messed up in my kit,
or something was messed up with me. You know, I didn't have shoes. You know, my shoes were just destroyed leaving South Lake Tahoe. I had a head cold. I got bad blisters on my feet. I had water issues everywhere, including a water filter that barely worked at times. The strap of my pack ripped. Someone stole several like charging devices and batteries from me, which I desperately needed. My watch died. My air mattress popped. Just viewing Mount Shasta, I will never forget. I had 2 bear encounters,
Hey,
you know, in Northern
get out
California.
of here.
One in South Lake Tahoe where I chased the bear, and one just outside of Etna where I spooked Mama Bear. Mama Bear growled and made a noise that I hope I never hear again in my life. The baby cub ran up the tree and I ran for the hills. It's 2 o'clock, I'm about 20 miles in. I'm at the top, I'm at 7,100 feet. This is the top of my first climb in Oregon, and it definitely will not be the last. But right now I'm just looking for a place to sit down, have some lunch, and dry the bag and dry my tent. It's 2 o'clock, I'm about 20 miles in. I'm at 7,100 feet, and this is the top of my very first climb in Oregon. And guess what we can see behind me? Shasta. Right now, I'm gonna look for a spot to sit down and have a little lunch. I just had a little lunch. I think I found my tent site. It's about 7 miles from here. It'll put me at about 27 miles for the day, and it will put me about 15 miles for tomorrow to get to Callahan Lodge, which is gonna be my jumping off point, getting off trail to enter Ashland, Oregon, which is our destination. This entire like valley is blooming right now. Like there's like pink ones and yellow ones, and where's the yellow one? Yeah, like right up there. As if this day didn't have enough milestones. We're at 1,700 miles. It's 950 to go. It's 5:30. I'm at camp. I'm 27.4 miles in. And to be honest, this felt like a recovery day I felt comfortable the whole way. After the last 3 days, man, like I really needed just like a chill out day. In here at camp, I made my campsite. It's like 27.4 miles in. That puts me 15.1 miles from Callahan's Lodge, which is where I'm jumping off trail to head into Ashland, Oregon.